Yes, it is Dr. DBFZ time. I've had this idea for, maybe once every couple weeks, have a stream where anyone who has a question, we can try to answer it. Obviously, I can't get to everybody if there's a ton of people in here, but if you have a question, feel free to send them my way. Let's actually really quickly talk about rejumps because I've gotten a lot of questions on YouTube in the past. I don't think rejumps are super intuitive. I'll mention, I think DeKillSage put out a video talking specifically about rejumps in the past, but because I get so many questions about it, we'll mention it here really quick. Rejumps, it's not as simple as just super dash, air dash, jump. It's not as simple as that. First, there's two parts that are important. First, you need to delay the super dash because you'll see that they kind of drop a little bit after they hit the wall, and then when they hit the floor, they bounce and they tech out. You want to have your super dash hit them as close to the ground as possible. So if you just super dash right away, we hit them as high as they're going to be. But if we delay it a bit, they get to drop a little bit after bouncing off the invisible wall. So we want the height to be good first. So delay the super dash. This is kind of a thing where it's kind of unintuitive at first, but once you get the timing, you'll get it most of the time. All right, and the second part of getting rejumps to work is that you're not actually just jumping after you land. You don't just hit the M and then jump and hit jump L. What you're going to do is you're going to hit the M, microdash, jump, and hit jump L. Because I believe for some weird reason, you can jump sooner after landing if you cancel your landing with a dash. It's weird, but that's how it works. So if you just land and then try to jump again, there's a tiny delay before the jump happens. But if you land and then microdash and jump, it happens slightly sooner. And that's what makes it possible. We're going to delay the super dash, and then when we land, we'll microdash and then jump and hit our jump L, and we're good to go. With Nappa, I want to air dash right away and hit jump M right away. With some characters, you want to air dash and then delay the M slightly because their M's are a little bit faster. You kind of have to figure out what the timing is for the character that you're playing. And rejumps are really important. I don't think they're super necessary, but they're really important because the damage I get when I don't rejump is significantly lower. My corner carry is lower. My situation afterwards isn't as good. But if I can get the rejump, we got an extra 200 damage and we got a ton of extra corner carry. And some characters don't have a consistent way of getting a sliding knockdown without it. Nappa can't launch off every single hit. He would have to do something like this. And then the corner carry is really bad. The situation isn't super good. But if I can get to the corner, his damage and his combo routes go from being not very good to being significantly higher, and the Oki's significantly better. Can't do 16's rejump for the life of me. Let's really quickly cover him. He's actually a great character to practice this with because he doesn't actually need to rejump. He's not jumping, he's just super dashing with the late super dash timing, and then he combos with 5M afterwards. He does the first part we talked about, and then he doesn't have to do the second part where you microdash jump. Yeah, okay, cool. So with him, you're just gonna land and hit 5M, but you notice we're delaying the super dash, right? If we do it as fast as possible, this isn't gonna work. We're not gonna get the height correct to do the 5M. Gotta delay it. And then as soon as you land, hit that 5M. This is the first character I learned to do this with, but I think it's a great character to practice with. It's also super fun. His is really satisfying. I miss this character. What are my options to stuff wake up mashing, wake up square? Okay, so I assume you're on PlayStation, so wake up square is gonna be wake up light. Yeah, in general, you're gonna wanna figure out what your safe jump options are. So let's go ahead and set Cell, who's gonna mash up with light. Let's set him to recover normally, and we're gonna set his counterattack setting to light. Although I'm on PC recording this, so this would be square for you. Now what's important is that you get a sliding knockdown. Whatever your hit is, you're gonna wanna get a launcher, and whatever your sliding knockdown is, he's gonna sliding knockdown, wake up, mash with the light button. And all you gotta do is just kind of get an idea of what your safe jump could be. Just meaty with a jumping button. Typically, a jump H is really active. If you're falling with a jump H as someone's waking up, you can pretty much guarantee that you can visually confirm, okay, they blocked it, okay, they got hit by it. If they happen to get hit by it, you're gonna confirm into a combo, you're gonna be good to go. There's a bunch of different ways to make sure that you get some sort of a meaty. Let's do the simplest combo ever. I like to instant air dash, get a jump H. Some characters have like a setup. Usually there's a way to kill time and make sure that you get the setup perfect every time. I know with Bardock, one of the things he'll do is he'll land with a jab, neutral jump, and then fall with a jump H. And that'll pretty much just cover it every time. Keep in mind, if you get a soft knockdown where you didn't get a launcher, then the teching situation is different. They're not sliding anymore. Some move that forces a sliding knockdown. So with like Blue Vegeta, I don't have to launch. I could end with this move. That's a sliding knockdown as well. If you can end with a Dragon Rush, same deal. In the air, and with Dragon Rush, that's a sliding knockdown. I would recommend looking up Sliding Knockdown 101. That video is super relevant at the moment. And that one will talk about covering up tech as well, because there's other options. They don't have to tech on the ground. We'll see now, you'll tech in the air. So that's a little bit of a different situation, and covering that slightly different, but you can, you know, figure out how to cover both, where maybe we let Goku cover the ground while I cover the air. So that video will talk about that. Yeah, lab coat and special hat and goggles just for this stream. I could find them. The lab coat is white, right? It's a lab coat. And I had it sitting in the open for like 2 years, and I think it's gray now because of all the dust that got like smushed into it. Can we talk to chat about the Dash OS to deal with Vanish pressure? Oh yeah, someone on YouTube actually asked about the Dash OS. They were asking what situation should they be using it in and what exactly really is it. Personally, I don't love the Dash OS too much, but in general, all it is, and let's actually turn on our input so you guys can see what I'm talking about. So it's pretty much just you're gonna dash and you're gonna immediately hold back while you dash. Anytime you dash in a fighting game, pretty much every single fighting game, there's a minimum distance that your character can dash. In Street Fighter, every character hops forward, they don't actually run. But in Dragon Ball and most anime games, there's a minimum distance. So you'll always see I go this far, even though I'm trying to stop as fast as possible. We're gonna set cell to Vanish and then mash, right? Vanishes are not quite plus enough to hit you before you can recover from running. So you're gonna dash and you're gonna block, and it's pretty tight. If you don't do it right away, you're gonna get hit. And you can see I'm dashing and then holding down back to block immediately. And what you could also add in here is like a delayed jab or something. You can see I'm hitting like a light after I block. Dash, block, jab, or dash, block, Dragon Rush or something. Whatever button you want to add in there. People originally thought this would be really good for covering, like sometimes they'll mash, and sometimes they'll go for Dragon Rush. And you'll see I'm dash blocking jab, dash block jab, dash block jab, and ideally I should tech the Dragon Rush and still block if he mashes. Like that. So that was the original OS. I actually literally never use this because this is really confusing. There's some issues with this. Let me show another cool thing about it before I get into some of the issues here. Like another thing people will do is they'll go for like cross up or something. And if that were to be something someone were to do, now the cross up will whiff because I dash out of range of where it'll connect. But I've had a lot of experiences where I get confused as to what side I'm on because I don't really know what's going on anymore, right? My position has changed drastically. Using this option in this situation is a really good way to confuse yourself, but it's also a good option. So just don't rely on it too much. There's one other common situation where I think dash blocking is really, really good, and that is after like a block super dash or something. So a really common thing with like Kid Buu is after a super dash, EX ball, which will hit you mashing, Ki blast, which will catch you trying to anti-air the EX ball, like that. So a lot of people don't really know how to deal with this, and a bunch of other situations when other characters super dash at you. So dash blocking really helps here because usually you'll go under both of these options. So another option that Kid Buu could do, and why dash blocking is good, is if he were to dash back and toss out a button, I'll probably still block it. So I'll either block it or I won't dash up far enough to even get hit in the first place, but at the very least I'm safe. So it's a low risk option that'll cover all these. So let's set this to random, play back, and I was able to block the EX ball. Whenever he does Ki blast, I go under it. And if he were to backdash, I'm safe. Dash blocking is not perfectly safe. You can get hit at the very beginning of the dash, but there are certain times where the opponent isn't plus enough to hit you no matter what they do. So it's always safe after a super dash unless they have like an assist to frame trap you with. Could I just get some advice on the best way to react to Dragon Ball Super Broly throwing his EX grab into his block string? This might not be the answer you want to hear, but I believe you're kind of just going to have to practice against it. You're going to want to go in training mode and set up like maybe 3 or 4 different recordings, one of which actually has the command grab. So let's record slot 1. And we'll do one with the command grab like that. Let's do another one where he does overhead. Let's do another one where maybe he does Dragon Rush. And then let's do another one where he just frame traps in the same spot that the command grab was at. Let's do one more where he just staggers into command grab again. And then maybe another one where he staggers into the frame trap. I don't know. This isn't perfect, but just get a bunch of different options in here. Make sure they start the same way, they look similar at the beginning, otherwise you're going to know ahead of time what's coming. Set them to play back at random, hit play, and you're just going to have to look for it. Oh wow, I can't punish it though, that recovers damn fast. So at the very least you can jump, and if you can make sure that you have multiple things to look for, then you're going to actually kind of get an idea of practicing against it in a real match. Usually there's some kind of a visual cue as well, where in like Z Broly's case, he lifts his hand way up in the air, and that's the visual cue. In fact, his hand goes so high that it covers the health bar. So let me pull him in real quick because he's a good example of that. Once you start looking to react to something, there's some kind of a visual cue. Try to get an idea of what that is. This is Z Broly's grab, right? That's a medium one. That's the one you can react to. His hand goes way up. Look at that. Look how high the hand is. It's literally covering, like if we go all the way in the corner, it literally covers like his own face. He's blocking his own face. His hand goes so high. And the thing people do with Z Broly, so that when someone's looking to react to command grab, is they'll do 5H, because he kind of lifts his hand as well. It'll kind of like confuse people, like, okay, they're looking to react to the grab, I'm gonna hold a 5H, trip them up, they're gonna try to jump and they're gonna get hit. But it's not actually the same cue. Like if you really want to only look for medium grab against Z Broly, you can look at the health bar. Don't look at him. When you see the hand overlap with the health bar, that's when you jump. Although I would argue that the light grab is too fast to react to. This one it's too fast. Way too fast. If you have a question that you would like to have answered in a future video, I will be taking some questions from right here on YouTube. However, if you want to have the best chance of having it answered right then and there, I highly recommend heading over to my Twitch and following me over there to see when I go live. There's more videos on the way soon. Thanks for watching.